Hello, 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 good people. I believe we are live. Give me 2 seconds to make sure we're live, but not only do I need 2 seconds, I'm going to do something really quick. You might hear double audio, but I need to test this. Give me a second. There we are. Looks like we are live. Looks like you can hear us. Hey, Philly, give me an A-OK that you can hear me. As you guys can see, this is not what you're accustomed to seeing. I am not in the man cave. Actually, let me fix my camera here. Give me a second. I am not in the man cave, guys. I am in the woman's lair. I'm in my wife's office. This is where I have to work tonight. I'm having my man cave basement, if you will, is being renovated. Very excited by that. But this is what I got to deal with for now. And hopefully, I'm not looking too crazy out there. Hopefully, you guys don't mind what you're seeing. And what are you gonna do? But welcome, guys. We appreciate you guys coming through tonight. It's a little awkward for me, man, because normally, again, in the man cave, I got the computer and its screen, and I got my gaming monitor over here. I got the PlayStation. I just got all of my tools and gadgets, and I just don't have it tonight. So it's weird me looking right here at the camera. So y'all might just catch me in some wild moments. But anyway, and I thought you guys will get a kick out of the ticker that you see at the bottom, informing you why you're seeing these lovely pink vases in the back. But yeah, anyway, let's get to it, man. Welcome to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast with myself, along with Smitty, AzureEffect, of course, always here in spirit. And y'all know what we're going to talk about tonight, man. Two major topics: the Madden title update. Have not played the game since then, but we'll kind of just go through it and pick out the things that sound good, and we'll still talk about the things that are missing. Obvious thing that's missing, which they talked about right away. Then we'll also talk about NBA 2K22. A lot to digest, a whole lot in that article. I'm gonna be honest, I skimmed through it pretty much, but I haven't dived deep into it. But just seems like a couple of refinements. But more importantly, we're gonna touch on the details, and I'm sure we're gonna take that down the road of just wishing that we had a football product that was on that level. But we'll get into it. But anyway, Smitty, before we get started, man, anything else that you want to comment on, that may or may not have anything to do with the topics before we dive in?
Nothing really specific. The one thing I'll say real quick, at least in regards to the Lions, that, and I think I touched on it already, I think last week, but just to reiterate, especially with the moves they made recently and all that, this is a team that Detroit wanted. People in Detroit wanted this team to be blew up. They wanted it to be broke up. People wanted Stafford traded, I don't know how many years ago, and wanted him gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, people wanted this whole thing detonated. Well, this is it. So it's like every trade people are over evaluating. Like, I know we kind of it could literally be a reach. The man, I can't think of my man's right now, but we picked up a wide receiver. We traded for him actually from what's the name of the team? From the Broncos, because he had good performance during the preseason. But it was speculatory that he possibly would have been waived. He would have been cut, and we could have got him off of waivers. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we gave up two. What was it? I think it was like a fifth and a sixth round pick, a fifth and a seventh. I think it was like a fifth and a seventh round pick for next year, and a following year sixth pick, something like that. So it's like, yeah, we gave up 3 picks. I mean, late picks, but we gave up 3 picks nevertheless for this guy. And I mean, we cut Brashad Perriman. So it's like, and the funny thing is, this was a guy that was supposed to be like one of our featured receivers, and we cut him. Like he was signed to a $3 million deal, and we ended up cutting him. So it's like we signed him in the offseason, cut him after the preseason. And he just wasn't performing up to snuff. But that's going to be the name of this team, though. Like I was talking to one of my other friends about it, and I just said, like, the Lions, it's question marks everywhere. We have question marks from the coaching staff in terms of how they're going to perform over this year. We don't know what these guys are going to be. We really don't know. Maybe they'll all mesh together. Maybe we'll see some spots where it's basically oil and water. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll find that out. And then even when it comes to these players, we have question marks on every single aspect of our team, from the running back core to the O-line, D-line, secondary. Our two standout players right now, to be quite honest, well, Okwara did a good job. He got 10 sacks last year, so he's solid. And what's the dude's name? Trey Flowers. He's a good player, but these guys, you know, they're not like the staple of our team at this point. Like the only two guys that are more like a staple of the team is TJ Hawkinson and Frank Ragnow. Really, those are the only two real consistent performers that stand out. So, I mean, surprisingly so, TJ is a top 10 tight end, you know, in Madden. So it's like those guys stand out. But the problem, though, that people here in Detroit, we're acting like this team is supposed to be this dominant force, or they're supposed to do everything right. And as soon as something doesn't go right, oh my gosh, fire this guy. What is he doing? Oh, that's so idiotic. It's like, bro, this team is full of underachievers right now. And guys that aren't known at all, because we got a bunch of rookies and everything. So this is going to be like Ford Field is literally a science lab. And it's just they're performing experiments. Every week they play is going to be an experiment, because we're going to see what's good, what's bad, what needs work, what isn't, from the coaching to the players on the field. Who does what good? Who does what bad? You know what I mean? And that's just going to be it. So people just need to embrace that this team is not going to be a good team. They're going to be a team that, I mean, in my opinion, they might win 5 games. Like I see them being a 5-game winning team. But maybe, you know, maybe performance-wise, excuse me, they could do better. You know what I mean? But I really don't see it necessarily. And I mean, the crazy part is that the Lions had a better squad in previous years. And I mean, we got thrashed, you know what I'm saying, with better teams. This team is much worse in terms of overall talent and depth right now. So there's a lot of unproven guys. And I'm just saying from an on-paper perspective, we really don't know what these guys are going to do when they're playing against primarily first and second string guys, not practice squad / cut and block, you know, material guys like we saw in the preseason, because we barely played first stringers like that. We basically played second, third stringers, guys that were basically on the cut and block. So, which makes sense, because when teams encounter injuries, these are the dudes that you're going to need to rotate, and you want to see who's potentially efficient for you. You know, when you're rotating that first stringer out, can this second stringer, how well does this second or third string guy, or you know, this guy that's trying to just make a team, what will that guy bring to the table? So that's something we got to just see. But I just want people, especially Detroit, I just want people to embrace the reality that this is going to be a process of them rebuilding. I'm not saying it's going to take them 4-5 seasons. I don't know how long it's going to be. But the main thing I'm looking for out of this season is basically signs of life. And hey, if we get some progression and they move a bit ahead of schedule, sweet, I'll applaud it. But otherwise, I'm not expecting the best to come from this team because it's going to be rough this year. So, but no, that's all I got, man. That's it.
Yeah, you know how it goes, man. Everybody complains, something changes, then they complain about that, especially with sports.
Yep.
You know, Steeler fans are already doing it with the, the expected offensive line. They're already doing it. People was already saying, hey, they should give Dan Moore Jr. a shot. And people have already said that they wasn't sure how, how do you say his name? Chukwuma Okorafor. That's how you say his name. They just call him Chooks, right? People were saying they wasn't sure how this guy was going to be as a left tackle, even though he came out of college playing left tackle, but he's played right tackle for the Steelers, hasn't been the best lineman, yada, yada, yada. So now, now it's expected that he's going to move to the right side, and Dan Moore Jr., being a rookie, might get a shot at left tackle with Zach Banner having some type of undisclosed situation. And then now everybody's complaining. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's weird when it comes to sports. It's weird when it comes to games. Just, I don't know. That's just how it is. I respect everybody's opinion, but there's so much, flip-flopping when it comes to one's opinion on whatever the product may be. It is what it is. Other than that, guys, I don't know if I have anything else to get into outside of the topics. I definitely got a lot to say there. And like I said, man, you guys are seeing the scrolling banner. My background. I'm in my wife's office. Man cave is getting. So hopefully I'll be back in there shortly. But anyway, man, before we dive into it, man, I definitely see a lot of comments and things in the chat. And I told myself that I'm not really going to go down the road trying to explain everything anymore. I'm just not. I feel like we repeat ourselves every week. I'll answer a few questions that you guys have in here. We might as well start off with Madden. I'll answer some quick questions and then we'll get into our thoughts. Some people say, well, how do we get a better game? I mean, evidence of that should have been last year. Fixed Madden franchise. Fixed Madden franchise actually got some things done in terms of franchise mode. Now, the way the game has come out, bugs and all, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I really don't. I don't understand how something continues to have some of the same issues every year. Like, that's kind of strange. I mean, I understand game development, I understand short cycles and yada, 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 but I also feel like, I think I gave this example last week. I also feel like if you build a car, right? I think I used the same example. Me and Smitty, we build cars, right? And we got this solid foundation for our vehicles, right? I mean, solid foundation. And then all of a sudden, we we do something with the foundation to where the car no longer performs the way it should perform. And every year we got the same problem. Doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. Like, we should at least have the foundation set. We should have the foundation set. And that's how I feel about coverage and all of this stuff that, continues to be wrong with the game year after year. Like, it seems like you should address it, and then going into the next cycle, it's already addressed. But I have a reason as to why that isn't happening. I really think I have the answer to that, and I'll get into that. But also, man, and some of you guys are saying, I saw somebody ask me on Twitter, hey, when's the scouting update coming? Nobody knows, man. Like, we all in the same boat. Like, I don't know how sometimes I got to pick with us sometimes, guys. I got to pick with the Madden community a little bit because we start getting amnesia. And we know the scouting thing isn't even supposed to come until some point in September. I didn't expect it to be in this patch that came out today. I didn't even know there was a patch coming, right? And I would assume they're going to tell us when scouting is coming. It ain't going to just show up because of how that's been one of their features that they're offering. Also, yes, coverage needs to be addressed. But again, it said right there in the beginning of the notes, we know that coverage is a problem and it isn't addressed. So it's still confusing when some guys are saying, why didn't they do any, I thought they was going to be this and this. Yeah, I get it. But it literally said that they didn't do anything in the zone. So why? I'm talking about those who read the gridiron notes and then went and played the game and then said zones are still broken. Well, they told us that. But here's my beef with it all, Smitty. Then I'll definitely throw it to you. I mean, there's so much we're going to get into, but again, coverage, man. It's an issue every time. It is an issue every single time. And what's sad about it, and I'm glad that NY Kia is in here because Kia has been experiencing this for a few games now, especially since they introduced more logic with match and, cover 4 and quarters and palms and all of that stuff, right? Just like the video I put out a couple of days ago. In theory, the game was working correctly, in theory, right? Palms was working correctly. But I think the issue was, if you guys saw that video, I think there's logic built into where, depending on how, I think it was Thielen ran his route, Sabo kind of mentioned this to me as well. He was like, he mods the game. So he kind of knows some of the underneath. He was like, what's happening? Look at the route. When he runs the route clean, it's being recognized properly. When he doesn't, the corner is conflicted because now the game is thinking, oh, this is an underneath route. And I was like, oh, you're right. Because I kept watching it over and over. I said, oh, I see what you're saying. But it still goes back to what I was saying about there needs to be some improvisation going on with the logic. And I get it. It's a video game. But that's kind of what happens in a video game when you just code logic to do this or do that, which is fine. But in the world of Madden, it's going to make it look like on that particular play, some people would say palms was broken, and it wasn't. I showed you in the play how, well, it looks like when he doesn't mistake that C route as an underneath route, he stays with the number 1, which is what he should do. But because the way that the route combination was happening, and sometimes it wasn't a clean release, it makes it look like a psychic DB because they don't use head tracking and real world principles to look at number 2 and number 1. So it looks like he's just whipping back around and leaving the number 1 receiver wide open, right? But I say all that to say this, like Kia would say, it's a lot of the stuff is there. It's just, I just don't understand why each year we're dealing with the same, this is broken, that is broken. Why? Like, why can't you get it correct? And I think I know the answer. It's got to be redone, man. It's clear to me that they have to redo coverage because it's no way, and hear me out, folks. There's no way that these developers that we know, don't even take my word for it. Take Kia's word for it. There's no way that the developers that we know and have talked to are intentionally keeping the game like that. All they keep doing is tuning. That tells me, oh, all you can do is dial up or dial down. You can't change the code. Why can't they change the code? Because I would assume that the executives are not allowing a cycle when you could just retool things, even though 2K seems to do this. And that's what's so frustrating about it, man. It's like, I told you guys, I'm at the point now, man, where it is what it is. Like, my recommendation is keep giving your feedback. Try to be loud as we were last year on Twitter, but I don't know, man. I've been telling y'all this for several years. I know where it lies. It lies at the executive level.
Yeah.
Only thing we could do is try to embarrass the executives, and maybe they will, maybe they'll light a fire. It's just frustrating, man, because again, we're gonna get into the 2K stuff. It's like I just don't understand why even the money people, nobody can convince them, let's just make the best game possible. Let's stop cutting corners, because while people are going to say they don't have competition, yeah, they do. Their competition is about to release in a week. That's their competition. All other sports titles is their direct competition. Because people, look, Smitty, people try to use that, right? Oh, it's because they don't have competition. Well, what competition do Live got? I mean, does 2K actually have? Ain't no other
Right.
basketball game. Even when there was another one, it wasn't competition for a long time. I'm just saying, we got to stop giving the executives that those built-in excuses. No, we should be demanding more, bro. Period. Period. And again, me and Smitty are not. We're not practicing what we preach. Again, y'all know this. We didn't pay for Madden. We don't buy the game. So we almost don't count because we're not the consumer that's spending money. But I'm telling you, if I was in this position where it just ain't what I needed to be, I wouldn't be behind the game. It looked like this is the game that you could wait until the next time. Like you could take a couple years off because it don't seem like you're missing much. And the worst of it all, I do think offline and at the core of the game, I definitely think that there's things that have improved. There's no question. But it's hard to appreciate them because of the current state of the game. It's like it's hard to appreciate it, man. When you're seeing, think about this, man. I'm seeing comp guys like they're just fed up. I don't know, man. It sucks because I put on Twitter today, man. I'm a football guy. I'm gonna be fair and honest with y'all. I am not. I love basketball too. I like basketball, but I'm not the X's and O's type of dude with basketball the way I am with football. I just don't know the game the way ballers know the game. I want to play the game that I know. And each year, I got to go elsewhere to get the full depth experience. And it's sick of it, man. But it's a ton we're going to get into. But let me throw it to Smitty, man. And real quick, I want to answer this, and I want Smitty to actually answer this. I see a couple guys that are saying, is it frostbite? No, listen. If it was frostbite, listen, I don't know this to be true. I'm not an engineer. But if it was frostbite, all right, Smitty, if it was frostbite, it don't look like it's going to slow FIFA down. It surely don't look like it's about to slow FIFA down. You know what else it don't look like it's going to slow down? NHL 22. How come these games, again, we're just seeing trailers, but how is it that these games are looking like they're going to be what we know them to be and they're on frostbite? I'm just saying. Because a lot of people say that. And again, I don't know. This is just my opinion. I don't know. But I've never thought that it was a frostbite thing, because every time people would say that, I would say, well, what about FIFA? FIFA been on frostbite. FIFA was the first sports game on frostbite. Y'all remember that? So, and again, I'm not saying FIFA's perfect. I'm just saying most of us in here tonight compare Madden to FIFA in terms of what happens on the field, interactions, physics, ball physics, AI. Those are the things we compare the two games. I don't know the ins and outs and rules of soccer, so I could, as far as the pace of the game and all that stuff, I don't know how sim the game is. I'm just talking about the way the players interact, the AI, the animations, the lack of two-man animations and two-man sequencing, physics. Those are the things that I can look at every sports game and say, oh, I want to see that happen in the football game, right? And we've all been saying for years now, us football guys, man, if they could do that in FIFA, why can't they do it over here in Madden? Guess what? FIFA has been on frostbite for several years. So why is it that we keep saying that frostbite is the reason why Madden can't progress? I don't believe that. Like I said, NHL is going to frostbite this year. From the looks of it, looks like they're going to be just fine and dandy. So I don't know. I just feel like, man, thank you, Kia. Round of applause to Kia, man, even though I can't give the applause. But look at his comment there. And actually, speaking of which, we missed the donation earlier, man, and it was Damani Green Beans. Appreciate that. Appreciate the donation. And he said, I think I caught y'all at the perfect time. Happy to have you here, man. But look at what NY said. And I have said this for years. It is the studio, right? And the funny thing is, it's not the people who work in the studio, the guys in the grassroots. To me, the devs are the grassroots. It's whoever governs Tiburon. And I'm so glad NY just said that. It's the people who govern Tiburon. Like I said, Kia just said the same. All right, yeah, and I'm gonna throw it to Smitty here in 2 seconds. Like I said, guys, it's not the people in the grassroots, the devs that work at Tiburon. It is the management, the executives. I've been saying this for years. It seems like EA Canada either has more freedom, or maybe those people up there, they know international sports. And I say international, talking about football, soccer, football, and hockey, which is not international, but y'all know that's more of it's a different crowd of people who would be diehard hockey people versus football, right? Maybe that studio, those people who govern that studio get it about their sport. These executives at Tiburon, I don't know, man. I don't know. When you have devs who have left there, come on, man. Mike Wang, he said it himself. He was feeling himself a little bit after what he did with 2K. Like, yo, I'm gonna go to EA. They probably offered him the bag, went and came back. It's guy that we know very well in terms of Madden, former, gameplay producer and all that. What did he say? Creative differences. I gotta go. Me and Smitty and AzureEffect, and some of you guys out there, we know what he wanted to do. So what does creative differences mean? So that's it, man. It's frustrating because I feel like we're always
redundant.
DJ laughing at me. Hockey is international. I don't know. I'm just saying. He said, it is redundant, man. I'm tired of it. Like I'm tired of waiting to see. Like even with 2K, right? With all the issues that the game might have, because I'm sure it's going to have some. At least the game is at a point where you know what you're going to enjoy about it. Right? It's not, to me. I don't know. Now listen, let me preference this too, Smitty, because this is something that we really need to preference. I don't play in the park and pro-am and all of that, and that's where you hear a lot of the complaints. That's where you hear about being able to cheese and all that. And see, that's not my experience. I don't play. I play offline in 2K, and that game seems to be.
I want to inject this just while I'm thinking about it now, because go ahead, man. My man made a point to me about this regarding 2K, especially this year. Now, it was from a video from Agent Zero, because Agent Zero usually tries to get inside information about, what 2K does when it comes to developing the games and such. And what 2K did is interesting because, as we all know, not everybody is able to get a next-gen console at this point. It's not easily able to come by. So what 2K did was, especially going through their gameplay notes and everything, a healthy amount of what they did this year is going to be on both consoles for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And this is the key reason. This definitely has to be a key reason. And this is from what Agent Zero had put out. Double Zero. He said that 2K had hired an additional dev team, so that way they don't have to pull resources to say, hey, well, we're going to take resources from next gen so we could build on current gen. So that way current gen will, you know what I mean? Like this generation is going to lack some because we got to split the resource time in half and the dev time.
Wow.
They got a full staff, so that way previous gen gets full development load. This current gen gets full development load. And they get and they, you know, fruitfully build accordingly. And it's like, because the PA announcing thing, that's on both console generations.
That's crazy,
that's not on just next gen. You would think that's just a next gen thing. No, that's on both. See what I'm saying? The badges, the dribble moves, the control for it. No, that's on both. Now the dunking thing, that's on just next gen, but it's like still they gave a healthy amount of stuff to the previous gen that the next gen. So it's like they're not being completely shafted. And it's just like, oh, well, we basically got a carbon copy game where they added some more animations to, and that's it. But it's gonna literally be the same game. It's like, no, they did some stuff to give you're getting a fresh experience either way. So I just wanted to add that onto it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you can continue whatever it was you were saying, man. Like,
nah, go ahead, man.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay.
Yeah, how you feel in general about what's going on and anything that you saw in the title update? Is just anything about this game, man?
There's nothing in the title update that I really care about. Because the main glaring issues are there. I mean, there's no what's the word I'm looking for? Nothing's done with the fatigue issue. Nothing's done with the zones. And remember, these guys told
with the fatigue. I thought they said something about fatigue in there. Let me look.
Nope, the issue's still there. So so it's like, how can you run a franchise and you still got those same issues going on? Like
the progressive fatigue.
Yeah, the progressive fatigue, but also your players only get that fatigue impacted if they have the ball. That was the other issue. So it's like that issue is still there. They didn't fix that. That's still there. So along with the busted zone play. And I mean, yes, they said they're progressively looking at it and everything, but remember when we did the show when the beta was out and they put the gridiron notes out then and they talked about how the zones were messed up then. And I said, and we know, but we was like, it's not like y'all reported something that y'all never had a problem with regarding zone play. This is something you guys have had a problem with for quite some time. And they're like, oh, just letting you guys know that this is a problem. So it's like, how much
problem?
Yeah. What monitoring? What are you trying to monitor? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to how much more conclusive evidence do you need to get the picture that it's messed up? You know what I'm saying? How many videos? How many tweets? How many what do you need? We told you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand. Oh, Sim had dropped out there. I guess he'll have to come back in when he can there. But real talk though, like what is needed in order for the game to get to where it needs to go, or at least get it somewhat on some kind of track? Because this game is off. This game is off the rails. I mean, see, that's why I said on Twitter for what Sim had said the other day. I'm like, EA doesn't the consumer base. This is the consumer's fault because the consumer base doesn't give a care enough to make EA care about this game like that. Y'all don't, and I mean, I'm saying this in the general sense. Y'all don't care. Consumers, you guys don't care, because if y'all cared, there's no way. And it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're a content creator. I don't care, whatever. you would be against this game and you would be broadcasting how jacked up it was if that was the case. But you don't care. Y'all, you guys are making your videos and saying, man, this is bull and it's this and it. At the same time, you guys all are paying thousands and thousands of dollars busting open packs and bundles while y'all complaining. So y'all are making EA's bottom line while y'all complaining at the same time. You know what's so funny? He don't work at EA no more, but the dude JP Kellums, he's on Twitter, and he said himself, he was like, he made the joke basically going along the same lines. You see these people go online and talk about how bad Madden is and how broken it is and how it needs to be fixed and everything. All the while they keep playing it, buying bundles and packs, etc. It's like, yeah, it's a joke now. It's a joke. It's just like when Matt Millen was there in Detroit. When they first said fire Millen, it kind of seemed serious, right? When the fans were saying it, radio was saying it locally, all these people. But then it became a joke because, the Ford family ain't firing. Year 2, year 3, year 4. Oh, Ford family ain't firing me, man. even his kids clowned him. Christmas time, they showed this fireplace and they had the stockings up there and it spelled out fire Millen. Like it was a joke. Like it was not seriously took at all at that point. Because they like, man, we want Millen out of here, man. And it was just like, Ford family don't give a care. They selling games out. And it's the same logic. EA is meeting their bottom line financially, and I bet you they'll meet it this year too. And it's gonna be like, oh, the game is so bad and all that. It's like these guys are bought into it. And I understand some people Madden is a business tool for them. It's a means to an end, like Zan and like the Skimbos and the W's and other people like that. I get that. But it's there has to be a line that's drawn in the sand. And this is a problem. Until Madden has a Star Wars Battlefront moment, they're going to be able to operate like this. Like they're going to have to do something that is like so extremely egregious, overly greedy, that's going to straight up make like everybody's going to revolt on it. Even attorney guys and all that, like everyone's going to go, they're going to drop the hammer down on it. That's what has to happen. That's how you get everybody pulling back and saying, yeah, along with everything y'all got broken to, and this and that, and this and that, man, y'all can have it. That's what it's going to take for it to happen. That's what happened with Battlefront. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, people got to stand firm on it. But no one's going to stand firm on anything when it comes to Madden. So that's why, you'll keep getting these games the way they come. And that's what I'm just saying. Like at this point, I'm waiting for next week. Because look, and people come out and tell me, oh, what about the legacy issues in 2K? No one said 2K is flaw free. All these sports games have flaws, but Madden is so far behind the curve, though. That's the point. That's the problem. People are playing, and I was even thinking about it. I'm like, man, I may mess around and re-download 2K5 on PC. Only on PC am I messing with it. But still, it's like, man, I may re-download 2K5. And the reason why I want to do it, I know I said I don't want to play it before here, but the reason why I would even do it is because I want to see legit zone play. I want to see sound play. And it sucks. I got to go back to 2004 for it. But I want to see sound zone play happening. I want to see legit pass control. I want to see, I want to be able to play a clean game of football from time to time. And that's how I'll just have to be with it. I'm not going to play this Madden 22. This is crazy. I'm not playing this the way this is. I'm insulting my intelligence by playing that when there's games like NBA 2K getting ready to come out. You got FIFA that's going to come out, which I want to see that hypermotion tech. I want to see that work. See, this is the problem. When Clint when Clint says like when you say that, not try to, but when you basically are saying that your next gen player movement, whatever you want to name the tech, that's fine. But when you're saying that that system is comparable in terms of being able to perform excuse me, like hypermotion, I see that's the problem I have with it, because
hyperbole.
yeah, how is it
Hyperbole.
possible? How can you possibly be in the same realm when you have your game running the way that it runs currently? You know, with all these issues and problems. And understand, it's not Clint's fault. You know what I'm saying? It's not Clint. Okay. It's not Clint's fault. I'm not putting it all on him and saying, oh, he's full of, it's like, no, I'm pretty sure he knows what it can do. It's just like what with Rex. Rex told us plenty of things. Man, we can do this, but we got to be allowed. And EA don't want to spend the money. They don't want to spend it. So the game's going to be in the same spot over and over and over again. Busted stuff, glitches, bad bugs, all that stuff. And they're going to ship it that way. And people are going to complain about it. And all they need to do is hit it with a few title updates and people will be pleased with it. Like I said, it has to be something that's so bad that goes viral. Like if Madden had some truly broken gameplay, I mean, it's hard, you know, it's bad enough as is. But what I'm saying though is they have something that's broke that's just like completely inexcusable.
It needs a Jesus glitch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If you get hit with something like that, and then you say, "Hey guys, we did a title update," and you do your Good Morning Madden, which they did, and you don't have anything saying it's fixed, and you say, "Hey guys, we're monitoring the issue." Monitor? You know what I'm saying? That's when that will be it right there. And then let 2K come out next week. Nothing's gonna save it. Them adding the scouting, it's gonna be like, too late. Y'all should have had all that right beforehand. Now the novelty of that being added in post-launch is gone because you've done the damage. You shot yourself. So it's too late. But see, the way Madden keeps rolling, the way they've been rolling, they good. They good. Watch them update. Watch them do. All they need to do is a title update that addresses these things and add that scouting. Watch, people will still be enraged, but watch people be okay. That's the point. That's the major issue. People will all of a sudden go from 100 down to 10, just like that. And it's like, wait a minute. So that's all they had to do, and now you're content? Oh, okay. Because I need the game to be much better than this. I'm sorry, man. And like Sim said, and we've said this stuff before, that's why these talks are redundant, because it's like executive decision making. They're the ones that hold the keys. They're the ones that get the finances and all that stuff or whatever. Listen, the EA executives do not care about Madden like that. Madden is not a priority title. It doesn't take rocket science to figure that out, y'all. We clearly see it. Stevie Wonder sees it. Okay, we all know this game is not a priority to EA, because if it was a priority to EA, just like NBA Live is not a priority, if it was a priority to EA, why would FIFA be ahead of it? Why would NHL be ahead of it? And I understand they're trying to get more people to play NHL, so they do all the in-depth stuff. Okay, well, how come FIFA gets the treatment it gets then? And it's the number one selling sports game. Now that game, and I understand, FIFA lacks stuff too. But you know what's so funny? FIFA is always rewriting stuff. We rewrote the goalie logic. We rewrote this. We revamped the ball physics. We redid. It's like all these things are redone. Why is it with Madden? Which Madden can we go to right now from PS4, Xbox One to this generation currently and say they rewrote something? What have they rewritten? You see what I'm saying? Where did they go? Just like in 2K's blog this year, we completely rewrote these systems, redesigned, recalibrated, redid. How come these other games are doing it and Madden's not?
Yep.
That tells you right there.
Don't give me the cash cow argument. You know that's coming,
Yeah.
Smitty.
Oh, yeah. Nah. They make too much money. It ain't about that. They cool it. Cheaper to keep her. All we got to do, man, let's see what happens if y'all tune some dials and add a few more bells and whistles, but don't really give them what they want, but just give the impression like you give them what they want. Clint could go in there and be like, man, but actually, I think if we do it this way, it's going to be better. No. Do what I told you. All right. Okay. And then he goes ahead and does it. And now we all looking at them like, oh, they don't know how to do their jobs. And it's like, no, it's not about them. It's people above them. You think A-Dub wouldn't like to say, man, I want this system rewritten. You think Clint wouldn't be in agreement? As smart as A-Dub, and we've said this before, as smart as A-Dub is, you think this pays a testament to him? Czar and OG look like complete Rhodes scholars in terms of what they did with basketball compared to what this guy has done with football. Like A-Dub looks like a complete dunce compared to those guys right now. The way that the X's and O's are being translated in Madden in comparison to how it's all being translated. I know they're two different sports, but still there's X's, there's O's involved. And it's like, and there's logic. Madden lacks so much in terms of logic, it's not even funny. And A-Dub is just there. Yeah, he's got a good position. I'm pretty sure he gets a good pay. You know, he gets paid pretty well and all that stuff. So it's like, I'm going to do what I can, but, you know, it is what it is. All right. I'm going to do my job and call it a day. Okay, well, he knows. And he knows what it is.
You know what's funny is he worked on, most people don't know this, and I won't put it all the way out there, but he actually worked on a game or two in years past. Not even Madden, but football wise, that a lot of us today would say, man, they had something going. A-Dub actually was a part of, this was before he was a dev. He was kind of like what we came to be for Madden. That's interesting. That's funny to me, man. It's just because a lot of times people don't know the history of devs because, you know, they always want to say it's the devs' fault, and I'll let them have that. You know, I'm not even going to refute any of that no more because it's a waste of time. Yeah. Like it by now, I mean, as much as we talk, you guys by now should know what's going on. So I spend very little time on that these days.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, it is, this is what it is. This is what EA's done or what they didn't do. And I mean, and listen, they have their roadmap for when they're going to do patches, when they're going to do updates, all that stuff. They have their roadmaps already. They already have it planned all the way out as far as what amount of patches they're going to do. Now, can things change along the way? Oh, of course. But the point is, excuse me, they already have a plan with it. So as far as these zones and everything are concerned, there's no way they couldn't have. See, that's the thing. You know what? We know Madden has a design council and all that jazz and everything. And it's like
that we're not a part of.
Yeah, we're not part of it. So we're not part of it. But
I'm a little bit about that, man. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I don't want sidetrack Smitty, but I think it's important to say this. If those who decided that are listening, that was kind of our idea, man. We didn't call it that, but we were saying for years, look, man, y'all need to have
Yeah.
We don't need these 30, 40 game. You don't need that. You need the people that you've identified that are about gameplay, pure football, authenticity. Even some of the guys that are because little do y'all know, there's some of those dudes that know football. And you need to go like that. So when we heard that this was coming, you better believe me and Smitty was like, oh, we need to be a part of that. And we're not. Whatever. Some people will say, oh, y'all, no, I ain't bitter. But I'm like, come on, man. Like, whatever. That's another conversation. That just cracks me up. I don't know who's on it. And y'all know I don't try to talk about myself or us as a conglomerate, as a sim standard, like we this and that and we this and that. But, bruh, you cannot have a design council without having sim standard members on that. Period. Y'all can call that ego, whatever y'all want to call it. I know it ain't that. You cannot do that. It's just that simple. And you did it. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, no, man. It's not, Madden refund now, hashtag. That's funny. No, but the thing is, and to like what Sim's point is that we've pushed. Man, I remember us talking to who do we sent videos, me, Sim, and AZ. We've talked to them about like, man, look, we'll give y'all our gamer tags, all whatever y'all need. We'll sign whatever NDA, whatever. And it's like, yo, let us in on getting in some kind of, being able to see these builds from home. Cause it's like instead of having to necessarily go to the studio, we could see what's up from the crib and give y'all continuous feedback over the year. Like when y'all really start doing that nitty-gritty stuff, why not do it that way? Why not have some of us do that? And I mean, and see, that's the kind of stuff Rex was even talking about. Like, I like to have community events where we don't even have gameplay or nothing like that. Like, it's just a conceptualizing thing. And I'm like, that's the stuff that we're talking about. We're like, yeah, because we need to be involved. Like, see, and understand this too. When the devs want to get us involved in it, a lot of the time they don't even know that we're invited or any of that. Because they're like, oh, so-and-so didn't come? Why not?
Oh, yeah.
You weren't there? How come he didn't come? And it's like, did he get invited? Oh, okay. I don't know why they ain't talked to us about it. So it's like, why aren't they talking to you guys? Y'all the ones that make the game. Y'all should be the main ones. Be like, yeah, him, her, whoever. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, but when you put a council together and you don't have any of us on there, and like we said about a month or so back, these franchise things that they're attempting to do or doing, I say doing, not attempting, but that they're doing in this game, it's the same kind of stuff that when I made the push on, you're too close to the product. Maybe you need to back away. Maybe you don't need to be involved in this. Like, and they said that to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm up here showing them Madden 05, Madden 06, Madden 07. I'm like, bro, these are games that are lining the hallways of y'all studio right now. And it's like, bro, I could snatch the disc off the wall and be like, pop it in. Let me show y'all how this should be going. Like, seriously. So, and I mean, and like, I understand the corporate stuff, but it's like, don't try to tell me what's going to be good or bad for a game when y'all not doing it and y'all sitting in the same spot. I'm like, yeah, y'all getting clapped by 2K for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if baseball was more popular than football, they would be outselling you right now. That's the key reason why the show doesn't outsell a whole ton. You know what I'm saying? But he said, what? College football have a new end? I don't know, bro. I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Not if Madden doesn't. And that's something that I think I try to say things with a more relaxed mind, because this is one thing I had to learn. over the years, and not just with gaming, with all stuff. A lot of you guys know I do Steelers podcasts, and a lot of you guys know I'm a nutcase when it comes to football and dissecting game and knowing the roster. I mean, all the way down to the 90th guy, yada, all that stuff, right? And sometimes I was finding myself a few years ago when I was doing the podcast, not understanding why some viewers didn't see the same things that I saw. You can't do that, right? So now I acknowledge that fan base. I'm like, you know what? Some of you guys just like the team. Y'all don't know all that other stuff that goes on, and that's cool. And I bring that example up because not everybody knows the back end stuff of gaming and the way the companies are structured. And we are fortunate enough to have gotten that experience. So I say that to say this. There is no way that the college game will be running on a different engine that's built at Tiburon and Madden is not. Those two games will be on the same engine. Those two games more than likely will be gameplay will be probably done by both teams like it once was. Now, Smitty mentioned something earlier about 2K. I would say it would be wise to have multiple, a ginormous gameplay team that can work on both titles or what have you. But the NCAA 14 that most people love and adore were the same guys, that the main core guys that made Madden 25. Same group, right? And it is no way that there's going to be a football game in the same building and they got two different engines. That doesn't make sense to anybody. Not to anybody. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it doesn't make sense for anybody from a business standpoint. That would be absolutely stupid, and I really wouldn't know what they would be. What are y'all doing at that building if that happened? But yeah, it's honestly too, man, and what it really is too. If we all take a moment to step back and breathe and really think for a second, like take all of your bias towards what you don't like about EA and Madden or what you might love, put all that to the side and think of it like this. The first point I would make is they have guys on the staff that know what they're doing. Some that me and Smitty know, some y'all may or may not know, but here's a guy that everybody knows. Everybody knows Deuce Douglas.
Yeah.
He's on the staff. He helped work on this game for all the franchise updates. Most of you guys know Moonlight Swami, knew him before he was a dev. Also, again, franchise guy. We know a lot of the gameplay guys that some of you guys may not. Clint Oldenburg literally played in the NFL. A-Dub could literally go probably on any NFL team and be a defensive coordinator or at least a defensive advisor. These dudes know what they're doing, right? That's one point. Here's the second point. Some of the stuff that they put in the game, actually, it's not casual at all. That is the irony of this whole thing, right? We all say that. All of us have been guilty of saying, man, they don't want to make hardcore football, and they just cater to the casuals. But if you really break it down, a lot of this stuff is not for casuals. When they first introduced match coverage and all that stuff, actually, I have actually heard from some developers. I can't go so far with this, guys, because it's an offline conversation, and I don't know how it will affect things in the future, but I'll give you a touch of it. I've actually heard some of them say, yo, this stuff is too complicated for most people. It is. Ask Kia. Ask Kia. Ask Kia how complicated cover 4 can get with all of the different checks. When it's versus trips or 2x2, or now you're going to do palms, and now you're going to do, some people call it 2-read. Now, you're going to do a cut, or now you're going to do special. It's so much. Most people don't understand that stuff. That is fair, right? Think about this. How many people, it might even be some of your friends. Now, I'm not hating on any of you guys' friends, because I got friends too that love football, but they don't know football. They ain't football dudes, right? How many people do y'all know only know coverages because of the play art? That's it. They have no idea what. I've had people and honestly sent me texts and was like, "Hey man, what is match?" They didn't know, and I was like, "All right, they might not be football dudes like that." So in reality, those coverages, that ain't casual stuff. When they put in target passing, that definitely won't casual, right? Double teaming on the O line, that's not. It's a lot of stuff that is not casual. So I only make that point to say this. That is what's so strange about the executives. Clearly, they're convincing the executives to allow them to do certain things. It's almost like, and I've heard this, they have to go with an idea and say, this is why we need it. And the execs they're not on. To them, it might seem like it costs too much. We can't take a time, a cycle just to do that. And we can't sell just that. Remember the whole, we can't sell fixes. And that's really what's going on there. That's literally, like, honestly, if you didn't know me and Smitty or anybody else, literally, we should have been able to see from the sideline what's going on there. Rex laid it out, dog. Even the times when he was just talking to you in his streams. Like, we all in this call, all of us here tonight know, yeah, man, he was trying to sell bug fix. That's what I'm saying. So it's almost like, honestly, Smitty, I don't even know if the executives, and this is going to sound crazy, but I think y'all know where I'm going. I don't necessarily know that they're not trying to make a great game. They just don't understand the certain things that the developers come up with, like, look, we want to do this. And they don't get why it's important. Because I've heard that internally too, where sometimes, remember, Smitty, when we used to go down there and devs would literally pull us to the side and say, man, I thank y'all for saying that. I was just having an argument upstairs about, and we like, me and Smitty used to be sitting there looking dumbfounded. Like, what? Like, who's disagreeing with that? Mm-hmm. And that's what they're dealing with. Trying to convince these people this is why we need to do this instead of long shot. Instead of campus legends. And I'm not poo-pooing that. I haven't played it. I'm just saying that's how these things work. Instead of KO superstar or whatever, we need to do this. This is what they deal with in the building. You don't have somebody, and I always give Smitty this credit because Smitty has been saying this from day one. Smitty always talks about how my man, what's his name, Greg Thomas and the boys over there have always been about details on and off the court, on and off the field. That's how they came in. 2K and Take-Two has been that way from the beginning. You don't believe me? Y'all remember when you bought the Dreamcast and we all played 2K football? We didn't know there was going to be this great game, but what were you saying about it? Like, yo, dog, did you see how when it was cold, they was breathing the cold? Like, they always had that. And remember, even though we loved Madden, y'all remember them days we was like, yo, this game, and then when 2K5 hit. Oh. See? And what I'm saying is it's a difference of something happened at it. It used to be a time where Madden was that joint. Had all those details, especially franchise depth. And then all of a sudden, hate to pick on you, Mr. Ian Cummins, but I was told that under Ian's regime, and I don't know if it was his idea, but under his regime, they decided when they were going to go to the 360, we're going to strip everything down and rebuild it instead of porting over like most other companies did. Yeah. Game was broken, and they have never gone back to address some of that stuff. That is why Madden is where it's at. Hence the reason why you've always heard us say, man, the devs, a lot of times they say, yo, we battling building new technology on some old code. Mm-hmm. And that's the crazy part. That's the most ironic part about this whole Madden situation. Really think about this. Think about it since like Madden, say 16, from then till now. A lot of stuff that they technically attempted to add gameplay wise and all of that, it's not casual stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, it's like when you step away from it a little bit and you kind of digest it, again, putting all of your bias to the side, because there's people who love Madden. Put the love to the side, put the hate to the side. Look at it for what it is. And that's when you have to come up with the only solution is those people who determine, these guys up here, who decide what we're going to do for this year's game. Those are the reasons and those are the people why the game is slow poking its way. That's it. That's the reason. I mean, it's clear. You ain't got to believe me. Look at the history. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, and that's what sucks. That's what pisses me off, Smitty. Yes, it pisses me off that we're not a part of this game cancel. And I saw somebody earlier in the chat was talking about game changers, saying, what'd you say? You know, the game changers make these videos, and a week later, you know, they're crying about the game. When the last time y'all seen me and Smitty make a video saying, this video is sponsored by EA? When the last time y'all seen one of those from us? Should tell y'all something. I'm just saying, bro. In 2021, I don't care. I don't care what happens from here going forward with, because I ain't burning no bridge or nothing like that. Like, I got relationships in that building.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Let's see. We came in the building in the same energy. That's why they had us a part of it. That's the whole point of us being a part of it. We came through telling it. What if y'all could do this? What if y'all could do that? When we learned the technical reasoning behind stuff. Like, we kept it a stack. Like, we didn't come in there and diss devs, but it's like at the same time, like, bro, y'all can't have this stuff, you know, being like this. Because we see. That's why I laugh at it, and it's not to throw shade or nothing like that, but I can't help but laugh when I see Angry Joe do his. It's just like Madden releasing. It's like certain things you look out for. Yeah, Angry Joe doing his video.
That's his bag right there.
Yeah, like that's his right. You know what I mean? Because think about it. Sim. When we went to E3. Angry Joe was there with the big boy camera and all that stuff. We got the little digital camera joint. My man got the studio production. Man
came in there with the.
he had a crew.
I don't know what he was. Yeah, I was like, who this dude?
So I'm saying. So it's like he could go. He could have went to EA Plays, went up to Rex, went up to Clint, went up to all them dudes and asked them burning questions. How he doesn't do it? He waits till the game comes out, and so that way he can do what he does. You see what I'm saying? Rip it and do all that stuff and everything. But the funny thing is when you have these guys say, oh, well, Soft Drinks needs to be in the studio, and Moody and Angry Joe, they need to have them go. Them boys going to go down there and come back talking different because they're going to get educated. And now if they talk the same exact way, they're going to look like hypocrites. That's literally it,
man.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, look, I wasn't down there when Moody went. Sim was there. But the bottom line is Moody didn't act like how he did when he at home, when he was down there. So that's the whole point. And it's like nobody does, because you're not going to go in there and act like you're going to get the answer. You're going to be the one that's going to get it done. Trust me, you're going to go right back home like, dang, I ain't know it was like that. Man, I got educated. Okay, I ain't know that. Yeah, I know. That's how it is. Because it's deeper than that. You're talking to employees. You're not talking to Andrew Wilson and the investor board and the shareholders and all that stuff. You ain't talking to them. And even if you do talk to them, they're going to be like, all right, so pull up them numbers. This is what we did. Next question. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
no doubt.
Do your videos, Joe. We like them. They're funny. We be laughing at some of these meetings that we have and everything. You know, see what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it's like that's where they are with it, and that's what it is when it comes to Madden. That's why I say you're only going to make an impact on the product if EA does something egregious, like they have to do something bad that's going to hurt them in a major way. So when they do those quarterly reports, we had this drop off. And then you can pull that online information and say, yeah, look at how people slammed you on Reddit. Look how they slammed you on Twitter. And look, the game's on the shelves and people aren't buying it digitally like that. EA will give away so many. They will eat such a major L. Because, man, we doing code giveaways. Dang, it's November. You still giving away codes, EA? What's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they got to take a hit like that. That's the only way it's going to matter, because when they on that, if you listen to any of them investor calls, man, they on a whole nother level. They that's way beyond Clinton and all those guys. Them dudes ain't touching any of that. So that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. We just do what we do. Give the feedback, like Sim said. It's Angry Joe got his routine. Ryan Moody got his routine. We got our routine. You know, and I'm saying many other people got the routine.
Yeah, I ain't mad at all.
Zan complains and says this is BS, and he does his Twitch clips and all that stuff and everything. But he's still, as you can see, promoting his ebooks, still putting out videos saying, hey, here's tips. And he's still going to do his streams and such, because it's like the machine's still going to keep rolling. He just not about to say, skirt, I'm done because this ain't right. They got to fix it. No, he's going to keep pushing it nevertheless. You know what I'm saying? So
the real trick is that some people will never tell y'all, but come on, man.
Yeah.
My dad said, always use your third eye, son. He told me that literally. It's a true story. I was 7 years old. I was like, my third eye. And it wasn't until I got older until I started understanding what he meant. You got to use your third eye. And this is what I'm going to say. There are some people that don't want Madden to ever be good. You know why? Because if it is, it destroys a bag.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a knock. I'm just saying, come on, man. That's how it go. Like, I'm not, that's why I say when people be trying to compare folk, whether it's us or this person, that person, or that person, that person, I'm like, y'all looking at it like you looking at it from a different light. Like, some folks, they eat off of that, and more power to them. Salute. You know what I mean? It's just like somebody asked on the Steelers podcast a couple of weeks ago. Somebody asked me if I watched Kevin Samuels, right? And for some of y'all might know who that is. And he was saying, people were saying this and saying that. I said, at the end of the day, that's that man bag. Like, regardless of if you don't like how he delivers his message, how he talks to the women and whatever, but they keep calling him, right? And that dude eats off of that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, why you so busy disliking the way somebody presents something? I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying when you like, man, they need to be more like, nah, man, like it's bigger than that. This internet world is serious. Like, people making real chips. So it ain't always what you think. Like, pull the wool off your eyes. A lot of it is a act with certain people because they know that's what they got to do to keep their thing going. So if Madden was ever great, fam, some people are done. Some people are done. Mm-hmm. Now, some will prevail because some show football. Remember, that's how I came in, showing football. I only got on the Madden thing because I was just like, yo, why y'all ain't doing this? Like, they don't even make football no more. And you used to do this. And that's how I started on the Madden, plight. But I was never the rah-rah. Some people seem to think that, but I was never that. I came in, my very first YouTube video was showing a positive play from Madden 10. My first video. So if it was up to me, and I still do it from time to time, I still plan to show a couple positive clips that I got from Madden. I got a negative one to show y'all too. But I'm just saying, man, sometimes you gotta really look past what's really going on. Hold on. It was a couple things in the chat I wanted to talk about too, Smitty. Let me find them. Y'all got to stop with the Ultimate Team, man. And let me say this. The reason why I say that is because y'all think 2K makes a lot of money off of Ultimate Team and microtransactions? NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Wild guess. Do you guys think that they make millions off of my team and microtransactions, especially in the world of my career? My player? I'm just asking. So again, Madden doesn't have that excuse because Smitty has laid it out for you. FIFA makes a bunch of money. Like it'd be different if that was there. It'd be different if 2K was EA in a sense, meaning they really only got this one game, right? And they got this Ultimate Team, and it'd be different if the roles were reversed. But with EA, you can't really say that because FIFA outsells the game. Like, yeah, they make money off of Ultimate Team, but you can't really say that when they got a bunch of games that they're making tons of money with. They made money with Apex.
Yep.
Like, so that ain't it, man. I promise y'all that's not it. Because, again, if you look at the history, even when the things that they put into the game, it's not for casuals, man. The scouting update, that's not for casual gamers. So that's where you can counter the argument of saying that they just don't want the game to be good. No, they just don't know what's important. The executives don't know what the important things are to do, like how real hardcore gamers would appreciate a cycle of them just saying, look, this cycle, all we did was rewrite code. They don't understand how big that would be for the game. See, and that's where the disconnect is. And that's where I feel sorry for the developers because they have to literally pick and choose what they're going to attack each cycle. You know, they might have, and this is just me using a hypothetical. There may be a big board of 20 things, right? And the executives will say, well, this is how much time, money allocation, dev time, yada, 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 that we're going to give you. The devs are challenged with, and because I've been in a meeting just like this, right? I've been in a meeting where they brought me and a couple other guys into a room. Shop was in there. And they said, all right, man, we think we might be able to get a couple changes in by da-da-da-da-da. Let me show y'all something y'all never seen. Took us in this conference room. We had never been in this particular room. It was up there, Smitty, on the room, like, you know, it was on the floor where they actually, where the dev kits are, not downstairs.
Okay.
Took us back, and they got this giant board, and they got all of these ideas of things, and beside it, it has dev time, amount of devs, and something else, like basically showing you it's going to be this to get that done. It's going to take this to get that done. And they literally had to go through that board and was like, we ain't going to be able to do this because look at the time. Like that's da-da-da-da-da weeks, da-da-da-da-da devs, da-da-da-da-da money allocation. Ain't going to be able to make that happen by then. And I was like, Lord have mercy. Like, what a position to be in where you got to literally pick and choose which things you're going to put in that will fit with the budget or whatever they're giving you, right? And budget just doesn't mean money. It means, again, time allocation, dev time, how many engineers, yada, yada, yada. Living proof of that. Remember when they went to Frostbite and they said, man, we couldn't really do much because Frostbite took up this resource as did Longshot. That's real. Remember, franchise guys was working on Longshot, right?
Yeah.
So every year they're dealing with that. I feel sorry for them. And when it comes to that, because you got to decide what are the good things that we can do with this time. And that sucks because you don't have the corporate backing. Because to me, it just feels like at 2K, it's always been like, Now we got to get that. That's a must. And everybody was on board. It wasn't just those guys making the game. It was at the top level. So, and then also, I can sum up one other thing really quickly here. Some people say, like Smitty said, you think you got the golden voice that you're going to go down there and you're going to kick in the door and slap people around and you're going to demand answers and they're going to change because you went and you're different than everybody else who's had the opportunity to go there or everybody else on the dev team, yada, yada, yada. Well, it's this simple. It's just like when you thought for sure this dude or this girl there's allegations on them about something, and you thought, because you're hearing all this stuff that they did this thing, you go talk to them and they literally tell you, hey man, I never did that. I never did that. And then you stop and say, oh, okay. And that's kind of what it's like when you go down to EA Tiburon and you get a chance to really talk to developers and ask them all of them burning questions you had, and they hit you with, yeah, we want to do that. We can. And mind you, this is years later. This ain't the first time we went. This is after we, after we were able to kind of be there for a while and gain some trust. And you're out to dinner with a couple guys, like, away from, and they really telling you, like, this is some stuff some people would say, dang, I can't believe y'all saying, yeah, I have no problem telling y'all this. They literally telling you, man, we should have did this. We should have did that. I wish we could have did this instead of doing that. Or the devs literally saying, man, if it was up to me, I would have approached it this way. Like, and that's what it's like. What I was saying, Smitty, in case you didn't hear it, I was telling them this simple comparison that you could use as far as how you get more enlightened when you go down there is just like you hear allegations about somebody that you cool with around the way, and you go talk to them, and you're like, man, why you do this? And he look at you and be like, Smitty, I didn't do that. That never happened. And you just have to be like, dang, oh, okay. That's kind of what it's like when you hear it from the devs. Listen, they complaining. I'm tripping, like they mad about how they approach something because they didn't want to do that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was how y'all got there.
Yeah.
And that's just, and like I said, it's to each his own as far as how you feel about who and that. But that's why I got this comment on the screen, man. It came back full circle. Shout outs to James 3725. This is literally how it works. Devs are so serious with programming that they can make the game do almost what they want, but business owners won't allow the time. That is 100% fact. I have had, you remember, Smitty? Remember that time we was there and Clint literally said, we can make the game do whatever we want.
Yep. You sure did.
We can. And then he broke it down. He was like, the thing is, how do you propose we do it? So, and then we tell him, he said, okay, so in order for us to do that, then we got to do this, and that. But we don't have the time. And then we all sit back like, dang, okay, it's like that. And he was like, that's how it goes. You can program. Listen, man, anybody who's an engineer in 2021 is probably smart with all this technology. I mean, I'm just talking anything. If a Tesla can drive itself, then trust me, these computer wizards and these engineering dudes can make video games and AI do what they want it to do. They just have to. I mean, it takes time to do that. And that's the constant fight with Madden. And those people upstairs, they ain't trying to hear that. Nah, we can't do that. That's going to take too much time, too much money. Let's put a Band-Aid on it. And I think that's the answer to my own question about pass coverage and stuff like that. I think that's the reason why you see every year there's a patch or something that needs to be tuned, is because I really don't think they can get much more out of the current system and how it works in terms of the coverage. I literally think that stuff needs to be redone. It's clear. Because if that wasn't the case, like I said, why can't you get it to a point where, okay, we finally got it playing like we want, and you carry that over to the next game? It should be that simple. But I think because they are able to keep saying, tune the way hard flats play, tune the way the cloud flats cover, tune the logic. That to me sounds like you keep trying to Frankenstein a system that's there. And sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, because the overall structure of that particular program is outdated.
Thing is, if there were multiple companies that can make a AAA football title, I'm pretty sure some of these devs wouldn't be at EA right now. They'd be gone, because you look at what somebody else would be able to do or what they're doing, and you're like, man, EA ain't letting me do this over here. All right, I'm going to see what's up over there. Let me see what I can work out. And if I can, I'm going to go over there. Because like we said, brilliant ideas have been shared in that building that we've had with of.
Man.
Many things have been said to us, and it's like, I remember me and Sim sitting up there saying, man, when we do these postmortems, can y'all get those executives and bring them down? Like, can you get some of them in that room?
Take one of them and shake them.
Because it's like, those are the people we need to be seeing. Like,
wake up, man.
Relate to them. Yeah, because it's like, when you hear so much, they're the ones that are holding these people back. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you never heard, you have yet to hear anything about Madden rewriting anything. We did a complete system rewrite when it comes to secondary play. When it comes to that, you hear tech be introduced, but you never hear anything about rewrites. We did this from the ground up. This was a complete, really rewrote system now, and all that. We don't have any of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's annoying, man. It's very, very upsetting.
It is, man. So I love football, bro. I mean, that's my sport, bro. To answer your question, Luke, I don't think so. And the reason being is because what we all know, EA has NFL exclusive rights to make. So until the NFL allows a Fox, a NBC, or CB, you see this. It's the NFL too. That's the funny part. The NFL is the one that controls the cards. EA, they are fortunate to have the license and being able to pay for it, but the NFL are the ones that won't allow nobody else to make a game. That's up to them. Greatness 84. I don't know if you were here a little earlier, but again, maybe somebody can prove it to me, and I'm willing to be wrong. I love to be educated. I've always been told, and I know this is cliche, but I live by this. If I'm always the smartest person in the room, I don't want to be in that room. If I'm always the smartest one in the conversation, I don't want to be in a bunch of those conversations. So I look for being educated and being mistaken or enlightened, but I just don't know why everyone why is that the go-to? Everybody says it's Frostbite. Y'all still got to prove this to me. I don't know why you guys think that. Again, EA's better sports games on Frostbite. Now will be 2 of them. FIFA has been on it. NHL is going to it. And this is another thing I don't think everybody understands. Frostbite is not the driving force. There's so many different engines within an engine, right? Frostbite, if I'm not mistaken, still doesn't run all the animation and like hyper motion ain't Frostbite. Frostbite is more of like again, the way I was told from a guy who used to work there, he was like, think about it like Photoshop. You had this platform and you could throw everything in there. That's kind of how he told me that's kind of what Frostbite will do for the games. It'll give them all that visual fidelity and supposedly it makes it easier for them to share technologies. And the vision was, and I'm yet to see this. The vision is that you could put something, because it's like it's like throwing everything into a Photoshop. You could put something in FIFA and say, "Oh, we're gonna take that and put it in Madden." Put something in Madden. Oh, we're gonna take that and put it in NHL, and it would work fluently and efficiently because it's the same code base, right? So I think people get the wrong idea of what the Frostbite quote unquote engine is in terms of all of the pieces that go into producing the game that you see. And speaking of which, guess what NHL is getting from Madden, right? Not only Frostbite, but X factors and abilities. Ain't that crazy? So we are starting to see this sharing of technology. I just thought that was hilarious that NHL is actually getting something that we was, Madden gave us a couple years ago, and that's hilarious to me. And again, the core gameplay on the ice seems to be more together. I know zero about hockey. I know zero in terms of pace and all that in hockey and soccer. But Smitty is my witness because he is the same way with this. When we compare these sports, we are talking about how they react in AI, physics, player interactions.
I'll inject on that because
yes,
I
sir.
did play the beta, that NHL beta. Now you can't play full games. You can only play the shell. They have offline stuff you can play within the shell. But even though, and the thing is, it's the PS4 version of the game that I got a code for, not the 5. But nevertheless, the way that it plays, moves, feels like a good game. And I'm seeing the stick physics, the way they talked about it, the puck physics, hits being clean, all of that, the good stuff. And it's in a limited capacity, yeah. But see, even with that, these X Factor abilities don't feel like some OP. It doesn't feel like some power. It's not like eating a power pill in Pac-Man. And it's like some kind of arcadey thing that happens. Good. It's a complementary layer on top of that player, so he'll stand out via certain animations are going to trigger for him and stuff like that. But it doesn't take him over the top, and that's the main point. You know what I'm saying? Stars are going to be star. This is still the NHL. Excuse me, the NHL game that we've been able to play. It's just that things are going to be smoother. Things are going to pop a bit more. And there's a few more capable things they're going to be able to do because they're moving it over to Frostbite. But see, the way this game plays is exactly what I wanted to what happened with Madden. Like what Sim said, the core integrity of the game is not changed because they put it on that Frostbite. There's still the core engine is the core engine. This is just a big layer being added on top. And when you have a game like NHL or FIFA that gets this kind of stuff, it's going to look crazy. You know what I'm saying? Was it real player motion in UFC? Like, same deal. It's like when you have a game that's already has a solidified foundation and they legitimately progress it up more and more and more, when you add those pieces that you may see in other games added in, it's gonna look smooth. It's not gonna make the game look crazy. It's gonna make it look good.
Yeah.
So
it plays the same. Like if you think about when those games transition, like take Madden for instance. This is what I think people forget. Some of them same problems we talk about was that they brought him to Frostbite. That's why I said, listen, I need somebody to prove it to, like, I need to know, break it down to me how you know for a fact that Frostbite is bad for sports games. Again, I'm not, I'm not disagreeing or challenging any of you guys. I literally want to know that, because that narrative comes out a lot. People say, man, that game, it was made for shooters and action games and it's not for sports. And I get it. The only evidence that you have is DICE made it for Battlefield, right? A company that made a shooter. But where's the evidence that it is not good for a sports product? I don't know if any of us can say that, like, with pure facts. Because again, FIFA has been on that engine for years. Years. There's no fact. I mean, I'm just saying there's no evidence that says that it's bad for sports games. I'm not saying that it isn't or it is. I just don't understand how some of us say that with so much conviction. We don't know. And me, your boy, I don't speak in absolutes when I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I just think sometimes, narratives are created and we run with it, man. And I don't know. I mean, listen, none of us are right or wrong. I just said, even when I try to give an opinion, I try to do my best to give an educated opinion, meaning to try to find some type of quote unquote factual evidence of something. And, we lean to that. But, even as something as, and this is a side comment, but this is, I think, is a good example. Even as something as debatable as like Kwame Brown's career, right? I think what was a fact is that guy was not a superstar.
Right.
And maybe he didn't turn out to be what you think somebody picked at that level would be. But can I say his career was all the way trash when you stay in the league 13 years and amass millions of dollars? I mean, he might not have been the greatest player, but you see what I'm saying? I don't have any evidence to say that his career was a failure. Only evidence I could give off of my education, my educated guess is, yeah, if you're talking about number one picks, it might have been a bust because he didn't turn out to be a superstar. And most of the time, that's what we're looking for when it's somebody who's drafted that high.
Right.
But, can I outright say that dude had a horrible career? I can't say that. When you played for 13 years, over $60 million. I mean, who am I to say that? So that's what I'm saying. It's like we can't say that about Frostbite. At least I can. If y'all want to say it, fine. But and also somebody said in the chat, and you're absolutely right. I forgot who said it, but he was like, NHL fans are complaining, and that's the thing. That's what makes this thing so unique when it comes to these games. Everybody in every community has an issue. And it stands out more to us in football because we're football people. And that's why on the outside, we looking at it and we like, yo, your game is dope. And they like, no. Smitty, remember, we had a conversation with my man Bateson 87, big time FIFA dude. He thought he thought Madden was great. He thought that was football to him, but he's a soccer guy. So him on the outside looking in, he didn't understand what all the issues were. So I said, okay, touche. You telling me the FIFA ain't a sim, I'm going to respect a soccer player. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just, it's a lot of things are subjective, man. I think one thing we can agree on, though, is that even that's a gray area. Most of us would say coverages are bad. And okay, how about this? I think a lot of people say the coverage is bad for different reasons. I don't think everybody knows why they're bad. if that makes sense. I do think there are some situations, because I've seen examples where it was the play call and the play looked busted, but it was because of the play call and it was because of how they made an adjustment with one of their safeties. I've seen a lot of that. I just keep quiet, but I've seen a lot of false, broken examples. But then there are times that the coverage is really broken and there's people that don't know why. And then you got those people that know exactly why. Like shout outs to guys like Zan and the Rellies of the world. Like they know, look, man, they ain't doing this and this is what. Like you have your people like that. But it's different reasons. And that's what's kind of interesting is that some people are piling on and they don't even know what the problems are, if that makes sense. But it really sucks, man. Somebody said, is coverage bad online or offline? Because offline Tampa 2 works really well. CG Shiano, if I'm saying that correctly. Look, man, you know, Smitty, we was right here. I did it live on air. And cover 2 was working. But I didn't try every scenario. And again, I think the problem with coverage, and you know, I put a video out saying this, not saying you should have or should have or shouldn't have seen it, but I'm just saying if you want to go check it out. I put out a video giving my reason as to why I think coverage, what's missing from it. It's the improv of it. Because I also got a clip where it's trips, cover 2, right? Backside corner, and it was a nickel. So it was the I guess you would say backside, inside backer. It was a guy that wasn't on the strong side, right? Both of them are doing their zone responsibility. Nobody over there. Not a running back. Nobody. Nobody even came close to the middle of the field. And the outside corner is still over there doing this. And then he just stops. And he's doing this. Patty cake, waiting to jump into the hops. You know, he's waiting to do the double dutch or something. Same thing with the linebacker. And I'm like, see, that's what's. And again, honestly, I don't know how you do it in a video game, man, but they have to find a way to make these guys improvise and look for work. Go find work. Yep. Go find work. And they gotta mix head tracking into the equation, man. And again, I don't know how you make it happen, but if they could ever marry the rules, if Kid's still here, I'm sure he would agree with this. Because Kid knows all that stuff. Another football genius, right? If they could combine those rules with head tracking and awareness, like really, and play rec, like really tie them together, not just throw the number out there and make us think. Like, no. That has to be a formula where one or two things will happen. You might have the highest awareness in the game, highest play rec. But if you ain't watching the ball, guess what's going to happen? You ain't going to make a play. Because for whatever reason, you improvised, you decided to just look at the receiver and not look at the quarterback. So you don't know when the ball comes out. Now you're forced to look for these. And when those go up, then you're trying to make a play. Then we would look at them like, yo, that's crazy. Did you see that? He reacted. See that? Then you get organic reactions from us. The sim guy's like, yo, did you see that? He wasn't looking at the ball, but he played his hands. Then you might get a guy, super high awareness, super high play rec. He's watching the whole time. He decides he's going to jump something, or he might be the safety on this side, but he's able to recognize ain't no threats over here. I'm going to cheat on over here and help my other partner, the other safety, and I'm going to help, the nickel that's playing this, this drag that's coming his way, and I'm going to jump. Like, that's what and again, it ain't supposed to happen every time, but I'm saying if you could program a game to do that, you getting as organic as that's organic on another level. Because then you're going to get, and this, again, Smitty, I always joke about this. when the game gets to that point, I can't wait to see if it ever gets there. I can't wait to see people complain about real mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, why did he do that? But that's what you got to do, and just let it play. You know, let it. If that's how you cheat us, EA. Yes, I said it. That's how you cheat and make us think the game is playing organically. You tie that stuff together. Because what's the first thing? And I even say Smitty would do this because y'all know how Smitty does his breakdown. Because I've heard him say this a million times. What's the first thing Smitty gonna do when he's able to drop the ball in and the guy won't look in? The first thing Smitty gonna say in his videos, he can't make a play because he's not looking, right? Yeah. And there it is. You've made us think right there that the coverage is better because you got it based off of head tracking. It's simple stuff, man.
Simple as that.
Now, I don't know how simple it is to do it. I'm just saying,
right,
it's come principle. On, man. It's simple stuff, man.
Yeah. I don't know. They gotta do like FIFA did with hypermotion. 11 on 11. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get y'all suited up and everything, and y'all gonna play football. And that's it. It's like you gotta make the investment though. And you know, that's going back to what we've been talking about, basically. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make that investment, EA. But it's got to be a priority on EA to do so. If they don't do it, it's just going to be in the same spot. It's going to be another version next year, you know. So yeah, and like what Brett has said too, he made the point about, you know, like NHL. That's the thing. All these games have a hardcore audience. We're part of the hardcore audience. Guys like Brett Lee, NY Kia, myself, Sim, Azura, Moody, and stuff like that. Like others, you know, Zan. We're in that hardcore crowd, and we're a small percentage. So anything negative or positive we say, there's going to be someone that feels differently. You know what I mean? Like I made points about NBA 2K. I was online going crazy about the commentary stuff, and people like, oh, let's see how you feel when 2K has their issues, and I'm like, all these games got issues.
And there's always a comparison. I don't understand that, man.
All of these games are gonna have them. There's hardcore MLB, FIFA, PES, NHL, NBA 2K, Madden fans that are all doing the exact same things when these games come out. Sim will think, yo, what they did in this game is hot. Oh, yeah? Speak to this then. Okay, I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's got something busted in there. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can play. Hey, look. I can holler at DJ 81's NHL slider set, you know what I mean? And now I'm cooking. So that's what I'm saying. Like I can play this game and genuinely have fun with it and not sweat it like that. So, and even with all the brokenness and everything, you know how many people went buck wild when they did that reveal trailer? You had people complain there's less than a minute of actual gameplay in this trailer. Okay. They were giving you examples of what's going to happen with gameplay. It wasn't just going to be straight gameplay and no commentary. This is about to be NHL 21.2 and all that. It's like same stuff about Madden. People are saying about NHL games that we like. Man, we wish Madden had some.
And 2K,
yeah. Oh yeah, 2K. It's same thing.
Yeah,
same thing. So it's gonna happen with all of them. That's a given. Nobody's going to put out the game that no one's going to put out a game that's like Witcher 3, where it's just like everybody is just overwhelmingly positive and there's not much complaining going on. It's like, no, these sports games, there's going to be complaints every year about something being authentic, this not being authentic, that doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. But then you got a crowd of people that absolutely love what's being done in that game. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So
that's why, man. That's exactly why I view even Madden differently as far as how I critique it. You know what I mean? And again, some people like different styles and some people like my style, but that's the reason why like what my man said here. Hold on, I want to read Philly's comment, which I fully agree with, and then I want to comment on what Cal Golden said. Philly said the AI is more dependent on assignment and coverage. They need to make the AI aware of the zone and the whole feed. Yeah, and that's it. And that's what I was trying to say in that video I made, man. It's like you got to find a way to marry that. Of course, do your assignment. And what I mean by that is if we call a certain coverage, you check your responsibilities first, but then you need to be aware of what's happening. And I use the words that Smitty uses all the time. Diagnose. They need to diagnose what's happening. That part is missing. And also what my man said here, Cal says, you're never going to find a perfect game. It just don't exist. That is a fact. And again, that's why if y'all really want to know the main reasons why, some of you guys that was rocking with us, even speaking for myself 6 years or so ago, and even when we was more like, man, why this? Well, I told you, got educated on how it works, but then also I started viewing it from a different lens. And I look at what is a game problem versus a football problem. And that's how I look at Madden and break it down. When I go look at the zones, I'm trying to see what are they doing. I'm not worrying about did they cover this guy, did they not cover this guy? Because let me tell you, that's a mentality too from a lot of gamers. A lot of times, because the guy made the catch, you pissed. And I'm like, well, wait, go back. Let me see the replay. What happened? Well, it looks like everybody played what they're supposed to play. It looks like he actually threw the ball. Here's another tip that some of y'all might know in Madden. Have y'all ever just passed the ball out of the automatic drop and not hold on to the rock? Have you just let him drop back, and as soon as he hit that back foot, you firing? Boy, you can light up a defense if you got the right play called, but that's how it works in the real world. How many times have you seen your football team personally get dotted up because Aaron Rodgers is getting that thing out? Ben Roethlisberger, last year when he was averaging the lowest. You see what I'm like, and that's the part of the real football world meets video game. It's weird because I'm telling you, if this game was a full-blown sim, people would still complain because a lot of times you think that you're supposed to be able to make this play. And you heard Smitty say in the beginning of the show, he acknowledged areas where the Lions have to improve. So Smitty probably wouldn't be pissed in certain situations. I acknowledge that the Steelers are going into this season with a kind of an unproven offensive line. So if some of those guys like Kendrick Green, shout outs to him, the rookie, that's getting pushed around with bull rushes, I might have to accept that because I've seen it happen in the preseason because he's not the biggest guy. You see what I'm saying? So that's going to be the weirdest thing too. If we ever get a game that all of us in the chat are saying, man, this game is a full-blown sim, then I want to see how those people are reacting to the game. Because, again, there are games. Y'all have seen it with your teams that they can't stop nobody. No. So
I just want to say real quick, because I know we running late. We usually would be done already. But I just want to say this one thing about 2K. Mm-hmm. And it goes in line with my man's point with what King Arthur said. Basically said there's no such thing as a perfect game. However, effort is something you could give 100% of. No excuse for subpar product when you have the resources to give a better effort. I get that point. But when your bosses don't give you the chance to do it, you know what I'm saying? If they don't give you the ability to do so, think of being at a burger joint. And your burgers are always coming up burnt. They all come out charred to a crisp. And they say, and your boss says, serve them up anyways. You're like, no, I can't serve this. This is burnt, man. I can't do that. I need fresh patties so I can redo it again, not cook them as long, and serve the burnt patties. Guess what they're going to be serving? Burnt patties. People going to be mad, but they're going to serve them burnt patties. And the thing is, like, oh, this ain't right. This ain't acceptable and all that stuff. Well, my boss said I got to serve it. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is, they're not going to complain because that's their job. They don't want to lose their job. So they have to do as they're told. Even if they complain, even though the employee is making the point and saying, yeah, but we can't do it that way. That's it. Can't do it that way. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I want to say as far as 2K is like, look at what they did with the announcing, the PA announcers. Look at
that's crazy.
The detail, these from how it appears. These guys have various bases of the game covered. And in some cases, you got announcers from different eras. You know, now I don't know if my man that said Michael Jordan's name, I don't know if he was the announcer of the Bulls back when Jordan was there or not. If he was, that's crazy. If he was able to get that. You know, same thing with my man for the Knicks. That he's, you know, calling out for the Knicks. Like if he was the Knicks guy back then too, that's cool. And what I like is that I'm seeing various moments of the game being called out, like beyond the starting lineup. Steph Curry hitting a game winner and my man calling it out. You know, seeing my man Mason, like Sadiq Bey hits the 3 and he's like Sadiq Bey from the 3-1-3. I'm like, bro,
yeah, that's
like, come on, dude.
That's gonna be crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And then he did the Ben Wallace like with the exact way, and that's in the game. That's what I'm like, bro. Like that got me hyped because I went to several games when that team was together, and it was like absolutely hype. Yeah. Hearing my man call it. And so to see they did all of that, those kind of intricate things into the game, like what was it? My man from OKC was like, there's 5.3 seconds left. We need 5.3 seconds of noise. Yeah, come it's on, like, man. Come on, man. Are you serious? And that's the stuff you do when you let your guys do the job. And understand this. There have been various points. And this is why I always talk about consistency with development. Because when Ben Wallace was on the cover of 2K, not 2K, NBA 2K5, remember, they had the Detroit basketball in there. When she would get the ball in the post, they would have him saying "sheed" because that's what they did. Like people would always say "sheed" when he got the ball in the post, and it's like to see them do it in bits and pieces along the way over the years, and now we're like, you know what? We're gonna fully attack it. Now let's go. Now I don't know how long it took them to do this. This doesn't
unheard of. Yeah, and when I first saw it, I was like, "What do they mean?" Like I was like, "There's no way that's what they saying." Man,
hey, Sil, look. Next, if they get the local commentary teams, I'm done. You get the local color commentary. Like then just think if you're playing franchise and your game's not regional or national, it's just local. You get your local specific color commentary teams. But when it's national, you get the 2K teams. You know what I mean? Like the marquee people.
Man, that would be nuts, bro.
That would be absolute. See, that's a next gen move.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that you do that's like, this is a next gen. I'm going to be innovative. I'm going to be excited to get into this. And there were numerous people that was like, oh, snap. 2K actually did something that really is breaking down that fourth wall to a degree. And they're like, yo, that got me kind of hyped. I'm like, that's the stuff. And I said it to Sim before the show, like, this is the kind of stuff that makes you not want to hit X and skip it. You'll want to hear what these guys are going to say. You may even cut off the commentary and let the PA announcer rock, because it'll give you that feeling like you're at the game. You know, hearing them give their say what they say during the game. So yeah,
man. It's real quick. I'm gonna answer my man King Arthur here, and the internet is funny, man. I'm not even gonna address him here in the comments, but it's some dudes are just weird. Y'all are just weird. Like I've literally never watched somebody or followed them or commented on somebody that I don't really like what they saying. You know what I mean? Y'all are weird. That's all I'm gonna say. You're weirdo, bro. That's it. Back to my man King Arthur. Definitely sorry if I missed that earlier, and thank you, man, if I missed it. But honestly, it's not a lot to change in this sense. I would just add on. I mean, because funny thing is, they got a little bit of that, but I would just make it more, add as many as possible. Because even like think about even with NCAA, and they call them like the vignettes or whatever. You just need a bunch of that. You need a bunch of those post-snap interactions, and like you said, players tussling and beefing with the benches. You can do that. Even like how 2K has the guys coming off the bench when you try to shoot. If you're near, like they need to add more and more and more activities like that on the sideline. And I think there's potential there what they have. So I would say I would just keep adding to that. More overlays. They need to have more, especially presentation in the beginning. There's a little difference this year, but it still it hasn't taken that leap, man. It's still the same presentation for every team. The flyover, and some have the flag, and then it's the same thing. Like even the animations, it's the same for each team. Walking out, we need a bunch of those. And if you can't get a bunch of them, hey, you know what would make us happy? Why don't you just get the signature ones? Is there possibly a way for you guys to mocap or record all of the signature introductions for every home team, and you just do that? Because at least then you can be redundant and we can't complain, because that's really what happens.
Yeah.
Cheat. Again, EA, that's a cheat code for you. Weather, honestly, man, there's so much I can say there. It just needs to be two things that I would say. It needs to be dynamic, number one. Well, no, more than two things. It needs to be dynamic. It needs to affect gameplay. And it needs to look real. Can I see the field get torn up when it's pouring down, raining? Like, seriously, chunks of the field coming up in certain stadiums. Maybe it pools and puddles in other stadiums because of the type of grass or turf or whatever they have.
Yep.
How about in the snow? This is a minor detail, but how about in the snow? I get tackled and my guy goes sliding and the snow imprint and catches the whole slide of the body. How about here's another next-gen feature? How about giving me some when I actually get tackled? How about introducing real-time degradation? You get tackled, you slide on the grass, there's a grass stain right there. Not the ones that they just automatically populate for you. Like, oh, let's just dump them on. You know what I mean? It's like they populate them. You know what I mean? Like they key it in. Yeah. Insert degradation. Come on, man. Like it's next gen. And again, I am not going to sit here and act like that I know programming. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be cool? You see a collision and then the guy gets up and you see like the helmet, or because remember they told us one of these games, they said you would actually see tears on the jersey. I ain't seen that.
Since when?
I swear they said that, might have said that for 21. It was something like that. I'm gonna have to research that, but I swear they said you could see little nicks and tears. Or you know what, Smitty, I could be confusing that with because it wouldn't have been on prior gen. I was gonna say maybe it was something that was told in the studio, but no, we ain't been there. And so but I swear I saw something like that. How about that? How about a tear or just that's what I would do with weather. Just make weather look real, first of all. Even I mean, it looks okay as far as it falling, but I'm talking about how it collects on the field and really affects that area of the field. You know,
but you know something that's funny when you mentioned the whole weather and players sliding on the field after being tackled. What really cracked me up about it, I started laughing, was because that was a feature they had back in, what was that, Madden 92? I think it was 91. Remember on Genesis and Super Nintendo when they first implemented rain games and all that, and you would tackle players and then they would slide a little bit more
all over the place.
Slide, yeah. So it's like,
come on,
you
man.
had that all the way back then, and you don't have it now. And with the field degradation, we spoke about this years ago, but when I played, I want to say Madden 07 or Madden 08, I was running the same play, like just 25, 30 times just to test it. My wide receivers running, because they kept running the same routes over and over and over again. You progressively saw those fields. Dude was running an out route. You started to see that L shape. It got worse. It got worse and worse and worse. It got more. The field got more and more wore down. The middle of the field got, it was pretty messed up because of the trenches. So it's like they had this in there already, and then they took it out for whatever reason. So you see, that's the difference between Madden doing what they do in comparison to FIFA, NHL, PES, MLB The Show, NBA 2K. Because those guys, now I'm not a hardcore with some of these other games. I'm more hardcore with 2K than I would be with the other games. But the point is, I can look at these games from year to year to year to year and see they, for the most part, have just built upon everything, built things up. And if something was took out and it was reintroduced better than it was. So it's like to see them go up, and Madden be like, well, we can do like what Sim said, like what we've been told in the studio. Oh yeah, we could do all these things. And that's the kind of stuff we just be looking at each other like, well, why the heck aren't y'all doing it? And then, like you said, that's when we had our eureka kind of moments, and it was like, oh, wow, it ain't the dev team that's the problem. It's them people up above them that's the problem. And that's, like I said, EA, the consumer base doesn't care enough to make EA care about this project being a priority project to be worked on like some of these other games. It's just not. They got their quota, and they're cool with where it's at. The only saving grace is NFL 2K, whatever they call it. That game being a legit game when it comes out. And it's not coming out this year. I seen Cal Golden asked about it, like, was it canceled? It was canceled because the date. 2K wanted to drop the game in like November, I think, or something like that, or December. And the NFL was like, no, because that's late. That's too late. So they basically had to scratch dropping it this year. But next go around, it'll be out. So if anything, they just get more time to work on the game this way. So they'll work on it more. And then hopefully we don't have a street date or nothing, because I got the news about it from SGO. This is like a while back. But hopefully it'll be coming out like, I don't know, July or something like that, or August. Like, you know how 2K, we usually drop their football games in July. So I don't know, maybe it'll be something like that, but it cannot be a freaking Battlegrounds game. Like, it can't be like that WWE Battlegrounds or some kind of Blitz arcadey thing. Like, they gotta, hopefully they can try and finagle, because from a legal standpoint, EA is technically making a simulation game, even though it's arcadey. maybe they can do something along that line where it's towing that line, but it technically falls under not being simulation. So I don't know, but see, 2K would know that because they deal with the legal and all that stuff, so they would know what path they can and cannot cross. So we'll see.
They should have came out this year, man.
They should have,
because look, they could have caught Madden right now, and again, it's not going to overtake Madden because it ain't the simulation 11-11 depth game that we're looking for, but if that game was out right now and just the gameplay was fun and and authentic, even if it's 5-on-5, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, it'd be making a lot of noise right now.
Yeah, it sure would. But see, that was an NFL call. See, on that part. So they can't and see, that's the beautiful thing about it. That's why I want the game to legitimately hit, because if the game does good, NFL at the end of the day, they're the ones that pull the strings. Yeah. They'll open it up and be like, yo. So
I don't know, man.
I mean, we'll see, but
I hope that I just don't have no confidence in that, because only reason why I say that is because the NFL they know who 2K is. They know what they do with that basketball game. They know they was once in business with them. So to me, I don't see the NFL knowing how they get down. I don't see them playing that type of game. And what I mean by game is, if they do well, we'll let them get. No, they know. They know that they don't have any intention, I don't think, of letting them get back in that race for whatever reason. And maybe it's because of they realize what I think a lot of us are starting to realize. Madden is a household, like EA is so far gone in terms of profit, and the fan base continues to grow. Not us, but I don't think they want to shake it up. I just feel that way from the NFL. I feel like it's not that they're not educated on what 2K can do. Come on. I mean, NFL, listen, y'all make video games. You think they don't know what the NBA is making off of 2K? They know, but I don't think they want to do that. I really don't think. I think when you intentionally say why would you intentionally give 2K an arcade style game? They ain't got no intention of letting them boys get in, man. I really don't think so. It just don't make sense. No, Philly, don't expect that either. And I got to get out of here, guys. It's getting late. Don't expect the 11-on-11 my player style. Because again, if you plan 11-on-11, I'm sure that's going to be considered simulation football. I don't see, only way I see 11-on-11, it'd have to be like Super Mega Baseball. Something like that. I don't think it could be, because again, if it's a my player, then my player is like us, a legit basketball player. It's not an arcade player. People play at arcade, but when you watch those games on the park and all that, it's basketball. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think they could get away with doing that in this 11-on-11. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. If anything, it might be a my player, my park, my field type of situation. Maybe it's an open world thing, and you could probably do like maybe it'd be like EA's KO Superstar, or whatever what they call it, the team play thing. The 3-on, like the 3-on-3 thing. It might be something like
squads.
Yeah, it might be something like that.
Yeah.
With your my player, now that would be dope. And where they could kill it is make the gameplay authentic. True. That's how you kill it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see, man. We did a lot of talking tonight.
Yeah, we sure did.
And we
way too much.
Yeah, we did way too much. And we didn't even dive all the way into 2K, man. But we'll have a lot to talk about next week.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But all right, folks, we're going to get out of here, man. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe out there, of course. Enjoy your extra day if you're fortunate enough, like some of us, to not have to work on Monday. Hey, my company even closing tomorrow at 1:00. So I'm happy about that. But all right, man, y'all be good. Again, stay safe, be blessed. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys the next time. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.